How's it going, guys? Hope you're. Sorry. I just smacked my table and it made me laugh. All right. Do it again. How's it going, guys? Hope you're having a good day today. We on the channel have crossed another milestone. Officially finished the third game of the channel, so I appreciate everyone that has joined along this last couple weeks. We've gotten a pretty solid growth the last couple weeks from playing Final Fantasy, and I think we started right around 26 subscribers. Currently we're sitting at 33. What incredible growth. I didn't expect much from it. And yeah, so I played Final Fantasy 1, the 1987, but the Pixel Remaster version of it for the very first time. And this is actually the very first Final Fantasy video game that I've actually finished. I've played other ones. The ones in my childhood, I played a lot of Final Fantasy 10 and 8. You know, I really enjoyed those games. But as a kid, when those ones were pretty long, I kind of lost interest in them, or we rented them, and I just never had the time to go back and play those games. But it was during the Xbox showcase when they announced that Final Fantasy VII was coming back, or coming to the Xbox finally, and I was and coming to Game Pass, and I was, what, I have that opportunity when it comes out here at the end of the year. But I also thought to myself that I've never played or finished a Final Fantasy game before, and it's a series that is such an important pillar in the gaming universe. Honestly, it surprised me how well this game holds up nearly 40 years later. Now, I understand the Pixel Remaster has done a lot of work to it. There's a lot more vibrance, color, and whatnot, but it's one of the biggest, most important games in modern gaming. I mean, when it came out in 1987, the things that they implemented, I'm sure, weren't common back then, and the fact that they added all these different things. I like going back and seeing kind of history, and I was surprised how much I actually enjoyed going back. So what is Final Fantasy 1? It's pretty simple, really. You're the 4 Warriors of Light, unnamed characters, so you get to name your own characters and choose their class. Very Dungeons and Dragons. I think what stands out mostly about this game, it allows you to go and find it out on your own. There isn't a journal where you kind of shows, oh, you need to go here for the next mission, or there isn't a kind of a marker on the map that lets you know where you need to go, and it just kind of opens the game up immediately, and you're like, all right, go and find out what you need to do. And it's something that I actually compared to this idea it's had a big impact on gaming, and it's still to this day one of my favorite kind of parts of some games. Like with Elden Ring, one of the best parts of Elden Ring is, you just kind of open up the world and you're suddenly go figure it out. So the kind of game opens up right away, right? You're told to go save the princess from the king, and you go into this cave and you meet Garland in the cave, and it's this first big boss battle. You kind of take him out and he disappears, and you save the princess and you take her back to the castle. King then builds the bridge for you that connects the rest of the world, and then you just go from there. And it's a lot of nuance. You have to make sure you're paying attention to certain things that people are saying. They'll say things like you'll run into a wizard and he'll be saying that, oh, I lost my eye. And that's kind of something that, someone could probably, mean nothing. But then later on you fight the Dracula Lord, and he's like, oh, now with my glass eye, or whatever, crystal eye, and the crown, I am a lot stronger. You take him out, and then you remember, oh, I have this crystal eye. And I remember that old crazy man was blind and he needed his crystal eye back. So then you go back up to that part of the mount and you give the crystal eye. He gives you another thing that opens up, and it's just this slow snowball. And it's just crazy how much nuance and detail is built into a game that's nearly 40 years old. And that's the bare bones. That's stuff that they implemented back in 1987. That's not something that they've put in the Pixel Remaster in 2021. So that's really impressive. And then the combat it's simple, right? It's a typical turn-based combat. Coming from Clair Obscura to this is funny. seeing just the growth of that kind of combat style. The encounters are annoying. They're necessary because you got to level up to get better and get stronger. So yeah, and then so the next part of the story really is opening up the whole map so you can, go and find the 4 pillars of light or crystals of light, and you got to go give them back their power. And each crystal of light is guarded by a different elemental. So the first one you run into is the earth elemental and the lich. Then you run into the fire elemental, underground water, tavern, and you fight the kraken down there. And then you make your way to the air tower and you fight the 6-headed dragon up there. And then you get all of them and you kind of take them back to where you fought Garland at the very beginning. And you get transport 2,000 years into the past. And you kind of go and you fight all the monsters that you fought like before. You fight the lich, you fight the fire elemental, you fight the kraken, and then you fight the dragon. Holy crap, there's a spider! That was... There's a spider that just landed on my camera. Let's kill it. What should I kill it with? Where'd it go? Lost the spider, guys. Well, that's fun for me. Oh, there you are. We're just gonna kill it with my controller. Where was I? That was funny. Okay. Killed the spider. We're safe. Don't worry about it. I lost my train of thought. You can't script that. It came like from, it just landed right in front of me. Wanted to be on camera. Clearly, it was a diva spider. We go back in time and fight the 4 elementals again, right? We kind of go through this tower, those 4 beings again, and then suddenly we get to the final boss. And who is it? It's Garland, the first boss that we fought. And what happened is that when we beat him, we kind of sent him back in time, 2,000 years into the past, and then he released these elementals to the future that took the light away from these crystals and caused all these monsters to appear in this land. So it's kind of it's a time loop story, which is pretty fun. I think that was a unique twist that they added into that, and you're responsible to killing Garland one final time. And let me tell you, this chaos fight, this is the Garland turns into chaos, it's a bigger monster. And it is significantly more challenging than the rest of the game. I was level 52-ish at this point, and I thought that I was going to do this pretty easily. And that was one of the most difficult kind of fights that I've actually had to experience. And I was so frustrated because nothing led to that level of scaling. It was just kind of right in your face, really difficult. And I think I would have been fine with it if the scaling of the bosses had gotten to a point, because I know that there are stronger like spells and armor that I could have used to kind of make that fight a little bit more simple, but I didn't need them, so I didn't ever think about going back and getting them. But yeah, so I kind of had to go back and grind after dying a bunch to Chaos. And I tried again when I was level 60. I still couldn't do it. Tried again when I was 65. Couldn't do it. And then when I was level 70, finally did it, and you can see my reaction to doing it here. Next round, probably should use it on no. I have no idea. No way. I did it. Oh, brother. Oh. Whoa. That was nuts, guys. So yeah, and the game ends there. The cutscenes are pretty solid. It's funny to kind of go back and see a game like this and the cutscenes that they add to it. It's very, pixelated text on screen. That's something that I noticed with Final Fantasy in my brief experience with them, is that the cinematics are always so cool. And even a game like this, I can tell that for the time it came out, the cinematics is probably really awesome to see. And I was happy to see that actually carried on since the beginning. And then I really wanted to get the whole all 100% achievements for this game. And it's actually pretty easy to do. Most people have done it. You kind of the hardest ones are to get 100% of the chests and 100% of the bestiary filled out. Now, after I beat Chaos, they let you kind of go back right before you fight Chaos. And so I went through, kind of cleaned up most of the bestiary, went through, got all the treasure chests, and then I got to the final beast where I had to find, and it's this war machine that has a 4% drop or spawn rate, and I couldn't get it to spawn. I spent probably 2 hours trying to get it to spawn and just never could. So I gave up on that. So I am officially finished with Final Fantasy 1. I will do Final Fantasy 2 in the future as this channel continues, because yeah, we got good traction from it, and I appreciate everyone that's joined the channel from it, and we will continue to do this series. We'll go from 1, 2, 3. We'll do the first 6, and hopefully by the time I finish those 6, number 7, the remake, comes out, and I'll play 7, and then we'll do 8, 9, yada yada yada. So overall, I very happy with this. I had a lot of fun. Surprised myself how much I enjoyed playing Final Fantasy for the very first time, going back in time, and it really opens my eyes to like maybe kind of going back and playing some of these older games that have these kind of 2D animation games that I've kind of put off just because I don't want to read or something like that. But I might have to kind of go back, because I've tried other ones. I've played Sea of Stars on the Xbox, and that was a lot of fun. But maybe I'll go back and like think about doing like Octopath and Octopath Traveler 2 and those games. But anyway, had a lot of fun playing Final Fantasy 1. If you're interested or you're thinking about it, I would highly recommend giving it a shot. It holds up really well. The Pixel Remaster does a really good job for it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys listening to the very end of this. It means a lot if you liked this. If you have any suggestions, comments, feedback, I'd love to hear about it. But yeah, love to see you join the channel, subscribe, like, comment. Tell me how I did. Tell me how bad I did. I really do appreciate the feedback. So try to keep things positive here on the channel, but I always learn a thing or two from somebody. So thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you. Until next time, thank you so much for that you're here. And yeah, it means a lot to me. It really does.